Tim? Tim? Tim! Tim! I'm here! Buddy! Buddy. Yo! Look, I got stuff I gotta do today, man. I have a chocolate hangover and I do not have enough coffee for this. Tim!
Oh!
Tim!
Nicole, how long have you been there?
Long enough to consider hanging up.
Oh, geez, I'm so sorry. Welcome to Gong Show Tarot. This is season 1, episode 2.
Oh my gosh. Well, thanks for having me. Sorry for my dog barking in the back.
I was ready, and then I thought I'll just get some vacuuming done. You know, it's always when you think you're ready to go. Oh, I guess I should. Okay, we're on the air. You're on the air, Nicole Granger.
Thank you. I am on the air. I'm awake.
Now it is Nicole Granger, right? Or are you a hyphenate?
It kind of depends who I am. I'm sort of rocking with multiple personalities right now. So for our purposes today, I am definitely Nicole Granger.
Just gonna turn you up a bit. Hear you. Lovely to see you.
I miss your face. Uh-oh. Your lips are moving and nothing's coming out. Kind of a testament to our whole relationship. Look at that. I can't hear you. No.
How about now?
Woo, there you are.
How about now?
There you are.
Yeah, okay, we got sound. Technical difficulties this morning, man. But here we are. We're here live, Gong Show Tarot, and today we have Nicole Granger, and she wants to talk a little bit about anxiety and depression and art, right?
Yeah.
And its association with art therapy. Is that kind of?
Well, just sort of like the things that keep you from, jumping off the bridge, right? You know,
The high level bridge.
Don't
jump off. Don't do it, Nicole Granger. Don't jump. Don't do it.
I used to work for a crane company, and like on my most stressful days, I would always be like, look, I am one glass of wine away from hanging on a crane, just screaming and drinking, right?
Yeah. Wow.
But yeah, no, I've been noticing art's kind of an interesting thing. Art's a really interesting thing. I've been noticing, and this is kind of like I don't have a psychology degree or a psychiatrist degree, right?
Oh, I thought you went back. You went back and got something, didn't you?
I did. I actually went back to university. So for those of you who are watching, I started out in musical theater, and then
that I knew that much, but some of our viewers probably didn't know. But I knew that.
Yeah, you knew that, and then
and you're very good at musical theater, I might add. You're a very good performer. You can do comedy. You can do straight acting. You can paint. I mean, you do a lot of stuff. It's really quite amazing. You're a Jill of all trades.
I am. I'm a Jill of all trades. I used to say that I painted to recover from dealing with actors. And
you're very modest too. I mean, you're very, very talented, and yet I don't think I've ever known you to be an egotist at all about any of your abilities, and many actors struggle with ego, I think, but I don't think that's a problem for you.
I would love to say that I'm totally modest, but in the business world, I've got a pretty healthy ego. Like when I went back to university, and I went back and I studied human resources, and then I got a business degree. Yeah, I gotta tell you, I can come off as a bit of an arrogant prick.
Well, it's a balance, right? It's a balance. Anyways, before we get too deep in, I feel like I owe you an apology. I'm dressed a little bit like a steampunk engineer this morning, and really that's just to feed my ego, because I enjoy dressing up. So I feel like I owe you an apology and all my guests an apology. So there you go. For what it's worth, I'm sorry.
Hey, for what it's worth, if I hadn't been eating myself out of every corset I owned during isolation, I wouldn't be looking like I just, rolled off the construction site. I would have had something all like, well, Dexy, dangerous and sexy, and smidgen soccer
So
mom.
are you working from home these days because of, I guess I should say it's 2020. If you're watching this in the future, it's April 2020. So we're going through the coronavirus
Yeah.
COVID-19 crisis. So a lot of people are working from home. A lot of people are in lockdown.
Hmm.
So you're working from home?
I am. I'm working from home. The other thing that's crazy is it's not like working from home, right? It's working in your home during a crisis
Right.
because
And you're very web savvy, so you're used to doing net meetings and
totally.
you're a performer. I mean, you were on the shopping network for years. I don't know if you want people to know
Oh
that or
my
not. Is that off
God.
limits? I don't know.
No, it's not off limits. It's really funny to think, because the shopping channel, what some people don't realize is it's live to air. It doesn't even have that sort of 3-second beep delay in case somebody swears. So,
Oh, okay. And you have a
yeah.
potty mouth, so you probably had to.
Hmm.
Did
Yeah,
you
I
have a
had to.
jar? Did you have like a jar that you had to pay?
No, my payment was if you don't get fired for swearing, it means you didn't swear. No offense, shopping channel. You were
And you
great.
did eventually get fired, is that right? Or
No, I didn't get fired. I
oh, you
was
didn't get fired. Okay.
No, I
Oh,
was there on a maternity contract. There was a
okay.
full-time host who was on maternity, and so for
Okay.
about a
So once she
year,
came back, they didn't have a position for you or
there really wasn't enough hours,
no opening.
right?
Oh, so you could maybe work part-time.
Yeah, but they had like
Yeah.
their hosts were fantastic. Like I got to tell you, like the people who took me under their wing when I was there were incredible.
Hmm.
Um like they were just all phenomenal, and they really changed how I looked at performing, because I'll be really honest, like back when that was happening was during another pandemic.
SARS?
As Yeah, it was
Yeah.
SARS.
Yeah, I was in Toronto during SARS too. I've been talking to a few people. I lived like 3 blocks from that hospital that they locked down. And
Yeah.
as you know, it destroyed the tourism in Toronto for years after that.
Well, and it
Years.
really
Never
wrecked
recovered.
everything we were doing as actors. So,
Yeah.
like, I owe the shopping channel a huge debt because
Do
while
you?
the rest of us weren't acting, I had an on-air gig at the shopping channel,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
being live to air and having to work with multiple cameras and a variety of different hosts, like really and truly, it seasoned me in a way I never would have gotten if SARS hadn't happened and if I
Mm.
hadn't had that gig, right?
So you say live to air, you don't say live to tape, you say live to air?
It was live to air.
Live to air. Oh, so was there a time delay or was it no delay at all?
Not
Okay.
when I was there, no.
So you're just like live streaming basically what today's live stream is.
Just hoping for the best.
Right, right.
And
Um,
you know me, I get very easily
you need to get
distracted.
through. We might have some. No.
Oh, do we
No.
have a
Okay.
visitor?
What's that?
Do we have a visitor?
Yeah, we have some workers here. We're doing some cleaning, as you realized. Sorry if you had to see that. I wasn't ready for you. I apologize. Here I am, just apologizing to my guests.
Are you kidding? It's all good.
It's all good. Okay, I have questions for you, Nicole Granger.
Answer
Um,
my question, my friend. I can't believe we went all the way back to SARS right at the beginning of this. Holy
yeah, I
cow.
know. I know. I wasn't going to talk about it. Did you know when you were younger that you were a painter? Did you always paint?
Actually, it
You
was
always do art?
grandma. My grandma who kind of instilled the love in me. She was an oil painter, and
Oh, okay. So it's in your blood.
yeah, and
Yeah.
I'm really, really lucky. There's actually a lot of art that rolls through on all the farmers in my family. My grandfather was an incredible woodworker. My grandma on my dad's side, she could draw and she could paint, and she's actually the first person who ever showed me how to look at something so I could draw it. Because I
Wow.
was like whining and complaining. I don't know. I was like 6 or 7 years old, and I'm like, I can't draw. I
Not
can't
you. Not you. No, you would never whine about anything.
read. Oh, honey,
No.
I needed some cheese to go with that wine.
So you come from a long line of artisans, it sounds like. You come from it's in your blood, it's in your DNA. And you said did you say farmers?
Yeah,
Okay, so like from Alberta or Saskatchewan or both?
Saskatchewan.
Saskatchewan, okay.
Saskatchewan on both sides of the family. My mom and my dad, they grew up in an area of Saskatchewan sort of known as the Pleasant Valley area.
Okay,
And
I've heard of it. I don't know if I've ever been, but it sounds nice. Pleasant Valley sounds very
Pleasant
nice.
Valley, yeah, and, with the city of Melfort, Saskatchewan, the city of Northern Lights, 5,000 people population if you count the cats and the dogs,
And you
right?
still do you visit there? Do you still have family there, or do
I do.
you go back and forth to Melford? You said
Melfort, yeah, I do. I
Melford.
do
Okay.
still have family out in Saskatchewan. I don't. I'll be really honest. Since my grandma Jean on my mom's side, since she passed, and I haven't been out there as much. But I do still go out there. I still have family out in Sask, and they're awesome. Like on my mom's side of the family, that's where all the musicians are.
So you have musical bones as well.
Yeah,
Do you play an instrument? I don't know.
I play the piano badly, and by,
Okay,
and by
you
that
play
I mean
poorly. Yeah.
I do.
Hmm.
Like I don't play much past a grade 6 Royal Conservatory level on the piano, right? Like I'm never going to be some stunning jazz musician.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah. So you're not Oscar Peterson,
I am
um,
not.
reincarnated. Speaking of celebrity, can you name three top influences of yours? They can be like they don't have to be super famous, but journalists, movie actors, musicians. Do you have
Yeah,
any influences that have impacted you on a personal level?
yeah, absolutely. When I was growing up and decided I was going to focus on acting, everyone said to me, "Well, what do you want to be?" And I said, quite honestly, I want to be the love child of Harrison Ford and Carol Burnett.
Did they date?
No, but
No.
they
Oh,
got
but
me.
you put them together in your mind. Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
That's
because
an
I wanted
interesting
to be.
combination.
Yeah, I totally wanted to be able to like make people laugh their asses off, like Carol Burnett, right? And 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 I love that. Like I always love like the odd and the funny and the interesting characters, right? Like I never
Yeah.
had any desire to be Juliet,
Well, and Harrison Ford
right?
was just a natural, like, sort of acerbic, sort of everyman, I guess. He
Yeah,
had that bite to him, which was really interesting. And Carol Burnett did too. She had an edge for sure. They both were edgy people. And I
exactly.
think I think you're an edgy person as well, Nicole Granger. So that doesn't surprise me. I mean, I'm surprised at those names being put together when you think about a love child, but I don't think that's too far off the mark because you've achieved a lot more than I realized.
I
Um,
can carry a gun and I can make you laugh,
yeah, yeah,
right?
you're well rounded.
Yeah, and more so by the day. Oh my God, my chocolate intake is just obscene.
Oh, really? But it helps, right? Like if you're feeling down, as a lot of people are, like, we're all going through this, lockdown weirdness in societies, and chocolate does actually help.
It
The
does.
endorphins. I think it's endorphins, right?
Oh, it's just magic.
It's
It's just
magic.
magic.
It's just pure
It's
magic. It's
just
Harry
magic.
Potter time. It's
It
Harry
is.
Potter time.
Well, with the
So one
legalizing
more. I
of
need three.
marijuana.
So we have Harrison Ford, Carol Burnett, and
Mm, Harrison
another
Ford, Carol
influencer.
Burnett.
I don't want to put you on the spot. It could be a one of your instructors or someone you worked with.
Oh my gosh.
What about Shane Moores? You worked with
Oh my
him.
gosh, Shane Moores.
Shane,
Oh,
am I saying it Shane Mears? I don't know. He was on the pilot. I still don't know his name. We grew up together, and I can't get his name right. But did he called you? He used to call you Madge. They called you Madge,
they did.
and but they didn't call you Saint Madge. So that brings
No,
me to my next question, uh, which is why Saint
St.
what's
Maggie Productions.
why Saint Maggie? Where's that come
So
from?
okay, so like Madge, my middle name's Margaret, right?
Okay,
And
so
I
it is
went.
referring to you.
It is referring to me. And Saint Margaret cut herself out of the belly of the dragon, right? It's one of those saint mythos
Is
that
this
also.
Arthurian legend or?
Let me Google it. I've got my computer here right now.
Sure.
Legend
We all
of.
have our computers right at hand now, right? All the time, whether we
All
want to
right.
or not.
So it's an important piece of medieval Hungarian literature.
Cool.
um, oh my gosh.
Are you Hungarian?
I am not. She's all
Okay.
over the place. She got swallowed by a dragon. She cut herself out of the belly of a dragon, right?
So it sounds
Um,
to me like you
and I
consider yourself a fighter, like you feel like you're fighting yourself out of the belly of the beast, on a daily basis. It's like the struggle of the artist inside you, maybe.
if I'm to be like totally transparent, I've been kind of just fighting my whole life, right?
Yeah,
Nothing's really ever come that easy. Well, not for me, not for anybody really. It's just honestly, you and I, we had an acting teacher who put it really succinctly. Ken Brown once said to me, he's like, Nicole, you need to get the hell out of your own way, right? If you could just get out of your way, get out of your own way, you'd be fine. And he was right. And then
yeah.
you asked who my third influence was. In a lot of ways, I will shout out to Mr. Brown
Ken
because
was a great influence on me too. I think the one thing I remember that he said to me was, Tim, this is not a cartoon, and that'll always sit with me. Because he's trying to get you to be real, and I'm just from outer space, so
well,
it was a challenge for him, I think.
I think you and I both sort of live in caricatures of ourselves, right?
We all do, right? We all wear masks. We all wear different hats. We all struggle with that. Some people seem to manage a really kind of solid, genuine quality.
Yeah.
But I think like you mentioning Carol Burnett, like she was a real character, right?
Hmm.
Like she was always playing a character. So I wonder what she was like when she was off, right? Like when the cameras were off.
Yeah, like I wonder, like, did she just like putter in her garden? Did she just be like, "Oh my God, I'm so sick of dealing with all of you," and just curl up and read a good
Yeah,
book for 3 or 4 hours at a time? Like,
yeah.
I wonder if I find it very interesting. Like, you look at people's change in persona over time too. I'm going to use Bob Ross as an example. Bob Ross, the alla prima painter. He does landscape. He's sort of like the meditative guru of the 80s and 90s.
I'm
He
sorry, I don't know him. Is he Canadian?
Bob Ross? No, he's
Yeah,
American.
American painter.
He's
Yeah.
he's the painter with the great big afro who's always talking about paint a happy little tree or there's a happy little every tree needs a friend.
Oh, did
But
he have a TV special where he was teaching painting? I think I know who you mean now.
yeah, so like he was really, really
Yeah.
soft spoken. But in his previous life, right, when you talk about sort of the complexity of all of us, he was, I think he was a drill sergeant in the army,
Oh,
right?
really? Wow,
Yeah,
I
so
never would have guessed that. Because
yeah,
he's
so
so chill. Like he's just like he's got the big fro. He does not look like a drill sergeant.
yeah, so
Yeah.
it just kind of shows you how complex people are, right? It's like I'm never going to yell at people again. So
Well,
that
and how
actually,
we're all kind of like putting different skins on, and we're all chameleons, right? Just changing and shifting,
yeah, and so painting for
trying to
him,
figure things
like
out.
he'd be doing army stuff, and I can't even imagine what that's like. I've never been in the army, yelling at people all day long, and then he'd go home and he'd go to his happy place, like where he was truly happy, which was
And paint.
painting, and like back to that art and back to
Hmm.
that decompression space that I think is really important. Like I don't think you have to be remotely good at any style of art to be able to just decompress with art, whatever it is, singing in your
Yeah.
shower, dancing naked in the moonlight, painting, like
Do you
whatever
do
it
that?
is.
Do you go out and the full moon and you go and dance? Just take everything off.
Well, when I lived in Toronto where it was actually warm in the summer, yeah.
Oh yeah, I don't miss those summer the humidity there. But yeah, you could do stuff like that and be totally comfortable there.
Yeah, remember we had the nude beach on the island?
Was there? I know there was one in Vancouver. I didn't know there was one in Toronto.
Yeah, on Toronto Island there was a nice really nice beach, great swimming, and it was a nude beach and you could just go completely
Oh,
naked.
you should have invited me. I would have gone.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh my God, opportunity missed. Future
opportunity missed. Yeah,
VP.
now I wouldn't because I'm too fat. But back then, I didn't worry about those things as much because I was younger. But
But it didn't matter. Like that was the weirdest thing. Like once you were on that beach for like 3.5 minutes, it was like you didn't even realize anyone was naked anymore. Like
yeah,
tall, short, fat, thin. It was just sort of just people. It was just like,
so it didn't
watching a
matter. It
bunch
was
of
just
people in the
really
back.
chill, huh?
Yeah, it was like watching a
Yeah.
bunch of silverback gorillas on a beach.
Do you
Bending
remember
over.
when they finally made it legal for women to walk topless in Toronto?
Oh my God.
Were you there for that summer? And
Yeah.
then people started doing it, and then they immediately stopped because it just made everybody so uncomfortable. So they finally got the legislation that women could walk around topless, which they fought for, and
Yeah.
then they just kind of backpedaled on it because it was just too. North Americans are just too uptight. We weren't ready.
Yeah, North Americans. Sorry if you see me looking over. Um, I have a little imp who's running around my living room right now with bright green hair, who's doing gymnastics on the couch, which he's not allowed to do.
This is your son that you're talking about?
Yes, get
Yeah,
off the
okay.
couch. 5,
Uh-oh,
4,
she's counting to 5. You better get
3,
off the couch, young man. She's counting to 5.
go.
Uh-oh, timeout. Is that a timeout?
No, he's just gonna go back upstairs because he's not
Oh.
even dressed. Like we're gonna
Speaking
wreck
of
him.
nudity,
Speaking of,
we can't talk about that. He's too young.
no, he's too young. He's there. Here he comes.
Oh no,
Okay,
you can't. No, get
you
off
can
camera.
pop your head up.
Did
This
he
is him.
sign a waiver? I don't know if he signed a waiver.
He's not old enough to sign a waiver. I have to sign on his behalf.
Yeah, we could
Can
get
you
in trouble. You realize he's getting us in a lot of trouble right now.
can you do me a favor? Can you run upstairs and I go mugga. I love you too. Up, go, please.
So do you want to talk about theater? Do you want to talk about St. Maggie's Productions? Am I getting it right?
Yeah, St. Maggie Productions.
Yeah.
Yeah, St. Maggie Productions is my theater love child for when I was supposed to retire from doing theater and film. Um,
Didn't happen. Yeah, it's tough to quit, right?
yeah, like in a nutshell, what happened was I moved back to Alberta because I decided to go back to business school, get a human resources degree, and stop fighting the film and television theater fight in Toronto. And so I was like, I'm going to retire. And I didn't make it out here, oh, I don't know, 3, 4 months before I'd agreed to do another show. I was really shitty at retiring. So I started St. Maggie Productions because I thought, well, I
Why
don't
not? Right? Why
well,
not?
I don't want to fight for acting gigs, and I don't want to have to like run back and forth to Calgary and audition all the times.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
I
I
mean,
could
who
never.
does, right?
Who does? And I never. But I don't want to not create. And I love writing, as you know. Like
Yeah.
I've written a bunch of stuff, and I love writing, and I love acting, and I just love the whole thing. So I started St. Maggie Productions, and I thought, well, you know what? If I do like one gig a year, if I write one show a year, if I do a fringe festival once a year, that'll really help feed that side of my creative
Mhm.
soul and kind of keep me really level and balanced.
And you've done what, six productions, like 6 full productions or 4? I don't know how many.
6.
6. Yeah, I was looking at the website and I was quite impressed because I didn't realize how involved you were with running a theater company. Like I knew you had one, but like most of us have produced something, right? But
Yeah.
you've kept it up and you've kept it going, which is it's tough to do. It's theater. If you're watching and you don't know, theater is basically a money losing venture. Like you're not gonna make money probably. It's very
Yeah.
tough to stay in it, especially now. I mean, I
Oh
had
God.
gigs lined up that are canceled. You probably did too, right?
I did. It was
You can't meet.
it's gallows humor, but I decided because my day job and my theater life had kind of collided really brutally in quarter 4 of 2019.
Yeah.
We finished a show over at the Arts Barns here in Edmonton at the end of October, and but at the same time in my day job I was doing a lot of facilitation, so I never was able to turn it off. I was literally on stage like 7 days a week,
Hmm.
8 hours a day. Sometimes I'd be facilitating all day at work, and then I was on stage, and then we were doing the show, open
Yep.
invitation. So I was so burnt out as we were heading into Christmas, like into that Christmas season in 2019. I'd made the decision. I said, oh, well, you know what? I'm going to take 2020 off of theater completely, and I'm just going to, because I need to
So you had
integrate.
already planned to take 2020 off.
Yeah, off
So you're
theater.
just lucky that you didn't have stuff lined up.
I was so lucky. I
Yeah.
was only going to paint in 2020 because my pendulum had swung so far over onto the extroversion scale, and naturally, despite my career choices, I'm a deep, deep, deep introvert. Naturally, I'm a very shy person.
Are you really? See, I never would. I mean, that kind of makes sense because I know you maybe better than some other performers, but you're so outgoing and you on the surface you seem so confident to people, that's very surprising to hear you describe yourself as a shy person, an introvert.
I am. All you have to do if you really want to see like an introverted, shy person overcompensating is
Hmm.
watch me at a networking event. I,
Okay.
I'll either overtalk
Yeah.
completely because I panic, or I hide by the food table and I just sit there and I eat and I wait for people to come to me.
Where's Nicole? Oh, she's hiding behind the shrimp. I don't know. She
Do you
seems
see
so
me?
confident, but she's a mess inside. She's a jellyfish. That brings
Do,
me to my next question. Have you, you brought up the topic for this show, which was art therapy in dealing with anxiety and depression. Have you suffered from depression yourself? Are you willing to talk about that,
yeah,
or
yeah,
yeah?
sure. No, I was diagnosed with anxiety and depression officially. Uh, oh gosh, when I was about, I want to say I was about 20, when I was about
Okay.
20 years old.
So
Because
you
anxiety,
knew fairly early in life that this was going to be something to deal with.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like if we want to get really real, I picked myself up off the floor of the kitchen where I'd been like sobbing and shaking for 2 hours and drove myself to a hospital. And I walked in and I said, something's wrong with me.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
So you
Um,
knew, and so you checked yourself in?
Not exactly. I didn't know a lot at the time about how hospitals handle people who look on the edge.
Yeah.
So I went and I said, because in my head, I remember I was only about 20 years old, and I wasn't even, I, gosh, were you and I even in theater school yet? I might have been in theater school with
How
you.
old were you when you went into Grant Mac?
I'm
Do you
trying to
remember?
think. Um,
I was very young. I was like 18. I was very young.
yeah, and I think I'm only a year older than you, right, Tim?
I don't know. What year were you born?
74?
Don't no.
Oh, oh my God. And
Now we
Kim,
know how old you are. You're
is it,
25. You're
I'm
25 forever, okay?
I'm
Yeah.
25. Are you kidding? Look at this face. Mwah.
You don't look well. I'm not getting an extreme close up, but thank God you're not either, because it's not pretty. Yeah, you look good. I mean, you don't look like you're over that, you know, middle
You'll
age.
have to edit out my year
I
because
will. I will
see,
because
I don't
yeah, you
want
should
that
never
much
say it.
personal info on the internet.
I'll cut that part out. Try to do an edit there.
Yeah, just edit out the year because
Hmm.
there's too much about me already.
Uh, Coffee black or with cream and honey, or is that
Black.
vodka?
It's
It's
black.
gin in there, right?
No, it's coffee.
It is coffee. Okay, black.
Black.
Black. Okay, I didn't know that. That's something I didn't know. Um, Here's another question. If you could associate a brand, like a big brand, with your art or theater, what would that brand be? Or
Do you
would
mean
you?
like an
Like
existing
like
brand?
McDonald's or like a
Oh,
makeup or a line of cologne, anything. It can be anything. Anything we've heard of. Anything under the sun.
anything under the sun. That's tricky because,
It's a tricky
corporation.
question, isn't it? I mean, it's a little bit
Yeah.
tricky. You don't have to answer. Never feel like you have to answer, but please do if you
No,
can
give me
think of something.
give me a sec. Let me think. If
Yeah,
I had to have
mull it
a
over.
big corporation attached to um
What would it be?
well, if I had to have um okay, well, if I had to have a big corporation attached to my painting, I would say I would totally accept a sponsorship by Gamblin. Like because
Gamblin?
all my oil paints are artist grade level Gamblin.
Oh, they make paint. See
Yeah.
that's too logical. I was
But
hoping. No,
no,
that makes perfect
but for
sense. That's a
theater,
very thoughtful answer.
yeah, but
Um,
for theater, uh,
because you often have to like sell advertising in the programs, right, and things like that. So I mean, you don't often
but
get a
yeah,
choice.
For theater, there'd be two things. Well, one thing for sure. For theater, I would want my big corporate fat cat to be Kryolan, because they make the best aqua colors for face paint and stuff.
Oh,
I
okay.
love I love Kryolan colors. So yeah, so Gamblin for oil paint and like my visual art and Kryolan.
Face painting is face painting something that you've done
Oh my God, yes.
professionally or semi-professionally?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've I face I occasionally make the mistake of letting people know that I do face painting, and then next thing I know I'm sucked into a birthday card with like 25 screaming 6-year-olds.
I didn't know you did that. I had no idea that that's something you do. You do so many
Yeah.
things.
So word of advice to face painters out there. If you're at a birthday party, keep it to a single image on a cheek. Resist the temptation to give one kid a full face Spider-Man or a full face lion, because
Because
once
then
you do
you're
one,
stuck too long on that one kid, right?
and then they all want full
Then
face.
they all want it. Oh, okay, so one is too many.
And then you're sleeping over at the house because
Yeah.
you're still working your way through all the kids.
That happens to you? Where you run a kid's party and then you're like stuck on the couch for weeks doing face
It
painting?
feels like I remember once, like, just kind of in desperation. It was at a Christmas party a couple of years ago, like looking at this last kid who'd been waiting so patiently, and I'm like, I promised you face paint. And by God, kid, you're gonna get face paint. Just, like, I'm
You
a woman on the edge.
I see some of your art in the background there. Do you have a piece that you're willing to show us kind of close up? Like
Yeah,
something that you're really proud of?
oh my gosh, there's a couple. I'm actually the two pieces in the distance behind me are going to be in an online show that opens up on the 14th
Cool.
through the Allied Arts Council. They're having a
Oh,
Friends and
awesome.
Strangers portraiture show. So let me show you.
A portrait. Yeah, show us a
Oh,
portrait.
I'll show you this one that's really, really sweet. It's called Dreaming in Winter. It's actually one of my husband's favorite
It's his
pieces,
favorite
just
paint.
because it's so
Yeah.
simple.
And it's just behind you there. It's within reaching
Yeah.
distance. That's awesome. Look at that.
This is Dreaming in Winter.
Oh, wow. And is this your son, William?
Yeah.
That's beautiful. Can you bring it any closer?
And
Oh, nice. Yeah, I
the
like the
challenge
leaves.
the challenge with this was, can I do a complete painting in one
Hmm.
sitting?
Is that oil or acrylic?
Oil.
Oh, it is oil. Okay. So you enjoy working with oil?
I do. I love oil. Yesterday, probably because I was eating way too much chocolate and possibly drinking a little too much wine, I
Oops.
decided to
That's a
cut my.
bad combination, by the way. It's terrible for like acid reflux if you ever get that. It's a
Well,
very
you want a
bad
bad
combination.
combination?
Yeah.
Yesterday, I thought, oh, you know what? I'm just gonna like do a little work in acrylic today and glitter
And
paint.
drink a bottle of wine and eat
Oh
a
my
bunch of
God! If
chocolate.
anyone ever tells you to buy glitter paint, frickin' run for the hills. It is such. Yeah, look at this piece of crap. Here, let me show you. Let me show you this horrific thing that got created yesterday.
Oh no. Oh, this is a recent work. Okay, we're
This is
about to see something that's brand new.
acrylic and glitter paint.
Acrylic.
My husband was saying to me, "Yeah, you know, Nicole, Picasso never had a glitter period." You know?
Did they even have glitter? Maybe he would have if they had it.
Yeah, like, do you see the glitter? Like, it's
Yeah, yeah, I
oh
can
my
see it. It's
God.
pretty shiny.
Oh
Can
my
you bring it
Lord.
any closer? You bring it right in close so we can see the brush strokes.
Oh
Yeah,
my
you know,
God.
it's not that bad though. I like it.
It's it's
I mean,
shiny.
maybe in person it's really shiny. I don't know, because sometimes the
Ah,
camera,
so shiny.
it's hard to
Da, da,
tell.
da.
It's hard to tell with art sometimes.
Do
Well,
me a
you are
solid.
a very
Do me a solid and make
talented
sure when
painter.
you're cutting out my year of birth, can you cut out my son's name?
Mm.
Is that fair?
Sorry, I didn't hear the question.
Oh, make sure you edit out my son's name.
Oh, okay, sure. Yeah, I'll chop that out.
Yeah, I gotta protect him. He's little.
That's my bad. Yeah.
That's my things. Year of birth and my kid's name.
That was you. I did. I didn't ask for your year of birth.
I know
Um,
your birth is totally my fault. Totally my fault.
all right, I got another question for you. Canadian cities, which one would you move to today if given the opportunity to work or live there? And money is no object. I mean, I don't know if you're wealthy or not, but
Money is no object?
money's no object. So you can live anywhere You know, you can live in a penthouse, you can buy a mansion, any city.
Victoria.
Victoria? Okay, why?
There's, because you said money's no object, right?
No
So if I
object.
feel hemmed in by the island, I can always go across to Vancouver and,
Yeah.
you know, I love Victoria because it's got some of the best food I've ever eaten in my life. If there's more restaurants per capita in that little tiny city, the sushi makes you drop to your knees and weep. And the people in Victoria, like they walk at a slower pace. Like, you remember Toronto, everyone was fast and angry and edgy, and like there was more impotence
Yeah.
in men under the age of 30 than
Lots going on, but also the stress of living there, right? And
it
the
was the
pace.
stress.
The
Oh,
pace of living was, and the anger, you're right.
anger.
It was weird though. I find actually Vancouver more of an angry city than Toronto. It's just all under the surface. It's a slower city, but I found the people actually underneath everything were more kind in Toronto. I felt.
Well, that's why I don't want to live in Vancouver. I want to live in Victoria.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it was a nice city. I don't know, when did you visit there last?
I haven't been back to Victoria in about 3 years.
Okay. Yeah, so fairly recent. I hear
Fairly.
Qualicum Beach is quite nice. Would you live up island or would you want to
Oh,
live like right in the? I'm just gonna do a quick mic check. Check two. Check.
are we
Okay,
gonna
mic
do
two works.
it?
Everybody, mic two
Are
is
we gonna
fine.
do the Elephant Love Medley from Moulin Rouge?
No, I'm not gonna sing. No, I'm not gonna sing. Not today. Not
Question
today.
back. When was the last time you sang, friend?
Yesterday.
Yesterday? Good.
I'm in a band, but this interview is not about me. But I'm in a band. Yeah, we're called CSUS. We dare you.
We dare you.
CSUS. We dare you.
I like
Yep.
it.
And he plays banjo and I sing. We need a bass player. Are you a bass player? No. Are you a drummer? We could use a percussionist.
No,
No. Okay. It's not gonna work. Sorry.
it's not gonna work. I mean, I've lost this opportunity. Um, you know.
I tried. I tried. We'll collaborate at some point. We were gonna do a theater project, but it was distance.
Yeah,
So
distance was difficult.
yeah,
Distance
I
was
mean social distancing. I'm gonna talk a little bit about social distancing because it's kind of like not a thing for Canadians because we have so few people per square hectare that I mean social distancing is basically the norm in Canada, right? It's like no adjustment at all. It's like
Yeah,
I'll
my
be in
neighbor
this
and
field
I,
over here. Yep.
it's like
Yep.
my neighbor and I talk from our respective
You want
front
a hug?
porches.
No, no, don't hug me. No, just keep
Okay,
your distance, please. Yep.
maybe for you, I'm a hugger. You know me, I
Yeah,
hug and
I'm
kiss
kidding.
everybody. There's no
I'm kidding.
strangers in my life, just friends I haven't met yet, right? I'm
Aw,
all like,
air hug, air hug,
air hug,
air
air
hug.
hug. Take
Oh,
care.
thank you. That's very nice. It's very nice. It's lovely to see you, Nicole. Do you want to pull a card? Do you want to pull a tarot card?
Yeah, I do. I want to see if you can feel my vibe enough to like yank a card for me.
Here it is. We
All
only get
right.
one.
And
What does it say?
emotional loss.
Emotional loss. And the number
Whoa.
5?
What's that about?
I don't know. What's
What
that
could
about? Have you lost somebody recently, or did you lose?
Yes, we did.
Okay, so you lost a person or a pet.
Hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm sorry for your loss.
We're figuring it out.
Yeah, I'm sorry for your loss. Are you okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
This painting behind me, it was done in dedication of the individual we lost, because this was their
Okay,
favorite.
bring it closer if you're willing. Bring it, take
Here.
it off the wall. Let's have a look.
This is the lake that they liked to canoe on, so I painted it.
Oh, nice. That's beautiful.
So we got that, and then you see.
Nice reflections.
So yeah, so I painted this in commemoration of.
Lots of titanium white in that, or
In this,
yeah,
actually, very little titanium
not
white.
much, huh? Okay.
No, not much.
I thought that's how a lot of people they achieve the reflection off the water is using titanium.
Actually, you need your, well, for me, I use darks to achieve reflection. And
Yeah.
whenever I'm doing water, I do it a la prima, like wet on wet,
Mhm.
right? So you can just grab dark and like stretch it down. Oh, you okay? Tired
Yeah,
eyes?
sorry, I shed a small tear there for your emotional loss. I'm sorry. I'm sorry about that. I wish it was something more positive, but it sounds like you have a lot of great stuff going on.
I'm the
Um,
luckiest person in the planet. Like I'm so lucky,
yeah,
right? Like I mean, think about how cool it is that, like you and I have people in our life that we've had in our life for decades. Like how cool is that? Like this is so
it's
cool.
pretty neat. Yeah, it's pretty
Right?
neat, and it's always fun to come back and reconnect with people and see how they're doing and how they've grown and what's going on in their life. And yeah, I mean, I love reconnecting with people that I haven't seen for years, and for me, it's just normal. Like it's just like no time has passed at all. That's how I feel.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's really awesome. We're super, super lucky. Oh my God, I'm so grateful we live in Canada. Like, talk about
Yeah,
like awesome
yeah,
accident of birth,
yeah.
right? And we've got art and things to create. Like I tell you, nothing keeps you off the ledge more than being able to create.
I made
Oh,
that.
Canada. That's pretty. Is that burnt wood?
No, it's paper. It's block printing. Do you know what block printing is?
I don't.
You cut it out of I think I used like a rubber material on this one, but you can use wood. Traditionally it was wood, and then it's like a big stamp, so you press it onto the paper. So you ink
Ah,
it
cool.
and then you press it. Yeah, so I got into block printing for a little while. It's my life in art.
I
Um,
like it. And you paint?
I paint. Yeah, I could. Yeah, I'll show you a painting actually. Just a sec.
Yeah, show me, show me.
This is a print. This is not original. It's a print of a painting. It's from a
Oh,
photograph.
hello, puppy.
In plastic, so there's a glare. I'm
Oh
not going to
my
take it out because I
gosh.
don't want to
Whose
damage it.
puppy is that?
This one was named Murphy, so the painting is called Murphy's Law, and
Oh,
he was an office dog that my wife worked with in Vancouver.
oh,
Yeah,
so sweet.
yeah. So yeah, I paint in acrylic, or I did. I really haven't been painting the last few years. It's just not a focus of mine. I don't know why I started, and I don't know why I stopped.
You know what? I think it comes and goes, right? Like I
Yeah,
needed to just dedicate 2020 to painting because I'd done too many extroverted activities and I really needed to pull back in, right?
yeah. Well, you know who
Um,
Joan? Do you know who Joan Rivers was? You know Joan Rivers,
yeah.
right? Famous
Well,
comedian.
new, she's no longer with us.
Yeah, she passed, God rest her soul. But she painted, and she used to say, "Well, I can paint, but who cares, right?" Because all she cared about was being funny and comedy and entertaining, right?
And she
So
was a
she
hoot.
painted as an outlet when she couldn't do that stuff. So I think it's quite common for creative people that are comfortable on stage, that are natural performers, to kind of always need an outlet, right?
Yeah,
And I
absolutely.
think
Like
that's
there's
why
got
the
to be
art comes in.
something. Joan's hilarious. She there's a woman who can keep your ego in check. I remember I remember the
Could she,
first
could
time
she keep her own ego in check though?
maybe not, but I remember
Maybe
the
not.
first time she met me, she like started at the top of my head and then she looked like down at
Oh,
my
right, because shopping network. So you met
yeah.
her. Talk
And
about that. Yeah.
she just
Your
looked at me
brush
and
with
went,
celebrity.
she's like, "Who hired you?"
Did she ever warm up to you, or was she always kind of like looking down her
No,
nose?
she did. It was just so
Did
funny. Like that was like the very first sentence ever uttered to me.
yeah.
Who hired you?
You know what made her so funny is she was fearless. She was completely fearless, or she appeared to be, but maybe she had the same thing, right, where she was actually introverted,
I'll tell you this, she is one of the hardest working people I ever met during
I
that
believe
gig.
it. Yeah, I believe
Like
it.
we'd have other people with their products and they'd be like, "Oh, we don't want to work the early show or we don't work the midnight show. We only do this, blah blah." No, man, like she would show up like 5 a.m.
Hmm.
and work all day. Like she was the
Wow.
heart,
So
one of
just
the hardest.
I hate to say the word workaholic, but it sounds like she really was.
I think she's just passionate about what she did,
Yeah.
and if I may be so bold, maybe just figured if it's something worth doing, you just
Hmm.
do it 100%.
You may be bold. I don't know. Are you bold? Now's a good
Sometimes,
time to be bold because fortune favors the bold, right?
and
Isn't
the
that it?
foolish.
Well, yeah, fools rush in, right?
Yeah.
Are you playing the stock market right now? Are you rushing into that mess?
I don't have the cash to rush into that mess.
Cash flow problems. Yeah. Well, that's all of us, right? Like everybody right now is just like, okay, what's going on with the markets now, right?
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah, it's nuts. I I uh I have skills. I'm going to say that stock marketing is not one of my skills. I'll leave that to people who are wiser than me.
well, it's going to be all AI trading. If you believe, the technocrats, it's all going to be AI, a lot of stuff, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's an interesting time. I mean, you can kind of be pessimistic and go, "Oh man, Black Swan event. We're going to go through another Great Depression," or you can kind of go, "Well, this is history happening in our lifetime, and it won't be the same as the Great Depression. I mean, it might be really bad, but it'll be bad in a different way, right?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, because we
Who
have a
knows,
complete
right? Who
we have
knows
a
what's going to happen?
completely
Like I'm
different.
trying to adapt on the fly here, doing this show, right? Like I'd been
Yeah.
meaning to do this show before all this went down, but now it's kind of like, no, I have to do this because everything's online now, right?
Yeah, like this
Yeah,
is your kick in the butt to do the things that you say.
yeah,
We say a lot of stuff. Oh, I'm going to do this. I'm going to that. Someday, someday, someday. Well, someday is here, my friends.
yeah,
Because even if you're working from home or like working from home and desperately trying to homeschool your kid at the same time,
yeah.
like,
And so many parents now are faced with this, right? It's like they have their kids suddenly at home all the time, 24/7. That's got to be a big adjustment, right?
and that's why I said, like, at the
Yeah,
very beginning of this interview, this isn't working from home. It's working in your house during a crisis.
right.
Because if you're putting in like your full day at work, like when right before you hit record, remember I was busy working on a document
Finishing up some
for
work,
work.
yeah. On your
Um,
day off, mind you, right? It's your day off.
but it was my opportunity to
Yeah,
get it done, right?
yeah,
Before you go meeting after meeting after meeting, before my kid has to jump online and do their schooling as well during the week. So,
yeah.
you carve your week out differently. You adapt. You have to adapt, right? If you don't adapt, you're extinct. So adapt. And I'm not
Adapt.
saying
Search
like
her. Search her on Instagram. Maggie. What is it? Saint Maggie Productions. She's on Instagram. Nicole
yeah.
Granger. Thank you
uh,
very much for doing the show. Again, I'm very appreciative uh, that someone like you would come on to my little show and give me some time. So thank you.
oh,
Um,
I had such a good morning. This made my whole day.
Great. Okay. Awesome. Thanks for coming on, and maybe we'll have you back in a year or so if we're still on the air.
Sounds good.
All right. I'm gonna stop recording, and then we'll do an exit interview.
Cool.
Gong Show Tarot, tune in. We're gonna try to do an episode every week, folks. You can find me on Instagram. I am at cosmic_threader. And also you can find me on Twitter at 3y3wonder. I'm the Cosmic Threader. This has been Nicole Granger. Have a great week.